Well, there are a few things that can get you there, but you have to do the work in order to get there. And I am back for day 10. Okay, so let me act business vibe. Okay, so that's a Southern word. Yes, it is. It may not be in the dictionary, but business vibe is a word down south. Anyhow, how you percolating? So today, I want to talk about peace. A lot of people come to me asking me, how is it? Every time they see me, I just have this aura of peace around me. And I proceed to tell them it takes a lot of work. It does. It takes a lot of work. So I just got in, so I'm going to fluff my hair while I talk to you. So, one of the things that I did to get to where I am in this state of peace, and when I say peace, in this state of peace, I am in a, I don't know how else to put it. It's just, there really are no words to explain it, but I can tell you what I did to get there. Anyway, so the first thing I had to do is I had to want it. I wanted it. I wanted my life to be in a state of peace. Because some of you know, and for those of you who are new watching, um, I am a restoration strategist. And what that means is I support victims and survivors of abuse getting back to being healthy, getting back to their life. Um, and it's important. There are some things that can get you there to that space of peace. You have to want it, number one. I wanted it, so I did whatever it took. I did some research on things okay, so let me backtrack. One of the things I did, other than having the desire to do it, is I took out pen and paper. You will hear me say this a lot. If you are new to me, you will hear me say this a lot. I took out pen and paper and I wrote down what I wanted my life to look like once I got out of this toxic relationship. And even if you're out of the toxic relationship and you are away from that person and they have no access to you, you can still do this now. Take out pen and paper or pencil or your phone and put in your note section and write down what it is that how you want your life to look for you now, what you want it to look like on the other side of this toxicity. That is so important because if you don't know that, then you have nothing to work towards. You may go out and get a job and be functional, but you may not be in a space of peace. You may go out there and finish your education, but if you're not working towards a common goal for your space, like your heart space and your mental space, it's hard to be at peace until you know what it is that you really want. That makes it so much easier knowing what it is that you want. So know, have the desire, but it's beyond having the desire. Know what it is that you want, because knowing what it is that you want helps spark that fervency for that peace, that desire that you want. Because who does not want to be at peace? Who wants to be in chaos all their life? Nobody. I did not. So that's the reason why I did whatever it took for me to get to this place. So the second thing I did was I didn't just talk about it, I walked about it. Okay? I had to walk about it. Like I said, I did what it took. I looked at what it is that I wanted. I knew once I got out of my abusive marriage that I wanted to complete my master's, because I had started my master's in business and I wanted to finish that. I knew I wanted my finances to be back, not where they were, but better than they were before I married. Before married, backstory. Before marriage, my finances were, I did not have a need for anything. I was just making the money and I was stacking it because I did the work. Previous to that, I had had a medical emergency and it landed me $40,000, nearly $40,000 in debt. And after healing from that, I was out of work from that May of that year, which was in 2000, until October. Originally, they were going to keep me out through the remainder of the year, but I had healed so well that they let me go back to work in October. And so I started the journey of working on my finances so I can get out of that debt because I was like, this isn't me. I don't do this. So I did what I knew to do was just pay it off. But I learned some things, which will be in another video. I learned some things of how to get that $40,000 off of me swiftly. And I'm on that journey again since being out from marriage, but it looks different. It looks a lot different. So I have to do it a lot different, meaning it would take a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm cool with that. I'm at peace. You know why? Because I know what it is I want. I don't just have the desire. I know what it is that I want. I know what I want it to look like. So I've done all the research and everything. I know the people I needed. I went and I sought a bookkeeper to help me make some final decisions on some things. And because when it comes to your finances, yeah, you pay your bills and you get them off. But sometimes your methods are outdated for the level that you are going to. Hope you caught that. So sometimes it takes you doing something a little bit different, and you may not always know what that different thing is. So it's important that you go find someone who does. And that's what I did. And we have been friends ever since. I love my bookkeeper. I will not get rid of her. But anyways, so know what you want, have the desire, know what you want, and then do the things you need to do for the life that you want and how you want it to look so you can get it there. The third and final thing I did was be in peace with myself. I had to be okay with where I was. It didn't matter at that point because I wanted peace so much. It no longer mattered that the fiscal state that I was in prior to marriage, that I was no longer in. My credit score was no longer over 700. It had dipped all the way down to the fours. Yes, it did that through marriage. And I had to let all of that go. None of that mattered to me. What mattered, because when you want something, you cling to it, you attach yourself to it. I no longer wanted the chaos and the emotions that came with how I felt because my finances were screwed up. I let that go and I started attaching myself and doing whatever it takes took to put myself on the side of peace, because clinging to that, I no longer had restless nights, no longer. And it wasn't something that he had to do. It was something I had to do. It was a lot of work. Healing takes time. Healing is a continuous process, and you cannot get everything done like a microwave. No, it doesn't work that way. It takes a long time to get to that place, but you have to do the work. In another video, we'll talk about the work that it takes to get there. So I'm just talking about the top 3 things that I did. The first thing I did was have a desire. But I didn't just have the desire. I did something with that desire. And what I did was I looked at how I wanted my life to be. And I wanted it in peace. And I moved towards that direction. I did whatever it takes. And it looks different for everybody. So me telling you what to do for that may not be the thing for you. I'm just telling you what I did. I'm just being general about it so you can have something to think about. And I went out and I looked at what I wanted to do. Like I said, I wanted to complete my master's, and I wanted to get my business back up, and I wanted to get back into writing. I'm doing all three of those things. I wanted to work towards my doctorates. I'm doing that. I wanted to get my health back on track. I am doing that. That's 5 things. And I wanted to get my finances back on track. That's six things I am working on. And it took a lot of work. And you know who helped me to get there? Other than the bookkeeper that I met? A mental health therapist. Yeah. In the Black community, it has been a taboo for the longest about not going to see a mental health therapist. We no longer have an excuse. We no longer have an excuse because there are so many Black or African American um, therapists out there. So we no longer have an excuse. We can no longer say, I don't want to go to them because they don't understand me. They don't understand where I come from. So they don't know me from the heart. Well, there are many of them out there who now do. So we can no longer hold on to that. Okay? It's important that you go and you seek some support. Okay? That doesn't necessarily mean you need to be on a prescribed medication to help you. If they feel that you need to do that, fine. But if you don't want a therapist who will prescribe medication, that's okay. Look for a psychotherapist. And a psychotherapist, all they do is talk. You're in conversation. It's talk therapy. Psychotherapist. Look for one in your area that you feel like you can trust, okay? So, how I got to peace, again, I had a desire, but I didn't just have that desire. I did something with that desire. I went out and I took out pen and paper and I wrote down how I wanted my life to look. And then I did what I needed to do, whether I made contacts, I emailed, I went out to people's places of business. I said, do you do this? And if they said yes, fine, made an appointment. And if they didn't, a lot of times they pointed me in the right direction, you know? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you run into a brick wall, but you always meet people who can point you in the right direction, you know? That's always a nice thing. It's always a way to get what you want, especially if you mean it. And I know that looks different for a lot of people because some things are just that painful. Y'all, excuse me, I'm still winding down from getting back. So I want you in a state of peace, and I know you want it, and I want that for you. It's okay. So let's get to work on that. If you need some support, you can email me at yourgrannyforever@gmail.com and we could talk about that. Or you can click on the call me button and we can talk. We can schedule an appointment and we can talk. So I love y'all. Be at peace. This is a great Christmas gift for you, being at peace. Just something that simple. It means a lot to a lot of people. I know it means a lot to me. If no one gives me anything, just being in this state of peace is so wonderful. Love you. Have a good day.